Hey there. If you are a parent, a grandparent, or even if you have nieces and nephews, this episode is for you. In this episode, I share my top 4 reasons for why my husband and I date our kids. I talk about how we set it up on our calendar and much more. Now, I have 4 kids, and every single day I feel truly blessed. And at the same time, my children require a tremendous amount of my time and attention. Even more, they're usually competing for my time and attention. Every single one of them are calling from a different part of the house. And so I do know this. I want to fill their buckets. I want to ensure that they feel at home and always feel like their home was a safe haven for them. I want them to know that their mommy and daddy are their rocks and they can turn to us for support. I want to know that we will always hear what they have to say and they know that we won't get interrupted or get distracted. And through all of life's challenges and hurdles, I want my children to know that they have a place to call home and that they will always be embraced unconditionally. And so while this sounds really lofty, it's not impossible. We have to be intentional about how we're actually going to create this. And so one of the ways that we intentionally create this in our home is by setting time to date our children.
Hi, I'm Connie Wolshansky, mama of 4 and creator of the School of Excellence system. And I'm on a mission to help early childhood leaders build and sustain schools of excellence. So if you want to create a collaborative culture, build efficient systems in your school, and design an environment that can grow your team, then you're in the right place. In the last 15 years that I've been working in the early childhood field, I've become deeply passionate of helping leaders with their mindset, their skills, the tools, and the strategies to build their schools. So each week, I'll share strategies, advice, coaching, and inspiring interviews. I know that you want to create a ripple effect in your school and your life. So let's do this together.
So what does this mean? Well, every month there's a time on our calendar that each of us take out each of our kids on a one-on-one date. So I know the first question a lot of people have is, how do you make time to take each of your kids out? Don't you guys work? Yes, I work and Mayor works. Mayor's my husband. And at the same time, this is something that's super important to us. And so we make time for it on our calendar. Again, I'm going to say that. We make time for it, right? Results follow the calendar. And if raising amazing children is super important to me and to my husband and sits super high on the values list, then I need to make sure that it sits in our calendars so it actually gets done. So what we do is, in the beginning of the month, we actually look at our calendar, right? And in our calendars, we use a Google Calendar, a shared Google Calendar. It has all of the dates, the special events, the school calendars. We have 4 kids that are in 4 different schools, so there are 4 different school calendars. And what we do is we immediately put inside there the time blocks of when each of us are taking each of the kids out. Now, we usually take them out for breakfast, like before school starts. Sometimes if the weather permits, we'll do a walk or a bike ride or a hike or whatever it is. The goal of it is that it's 30 minutes of one-on-one time that's focused only on them. Again, it's 30 minutes of one-on-one time that's focused only on them. So a question that I get a lot is, why do you do this, right? Why do you take the time to take your kids out one-on-one, to date them? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but in today's episode, I'm going to share my top 4 reasons of why we take the time to do this. So reason number 1 is experiences create connection, right? When you experience something with another person, it creates connection between the two of you. That memory of what you did together will always be with you. And so I want to create connection with our children. And one of the ways to do that is by shared experiences. Now, experiences don't have to only mean vacations or when you go to Disneyland or when you go visit grandma and grandpa or when you go on a plane together. Experiences are also going to get a little croissant together or having hot chocolate in a little coffee shop. That's an experience that you're having with your child, and that experience creates connection between the two of you. Reason number 2. So the second thing is, I love the quote, show me your calendar, show me your bank account, and I will tell you what your values are. I'm going to say that again. Show me your calendar, show me your bank account, and I will tell you what your values are. We all value our children, right? And if you're watching this episode, you probably have kids, and kids are probably super high on your values list. But here's the thing, if we value our families and our children, then there needs to be time on our calendar that's dedicated to each of our kids as individuals, right? So not just family time when you're eating dinner together, which is a whole separate episode of how we do dinner, or how you do anything as a family, but there also needs to be dedicated time that you spend with each child as an individual, because each of your kids are their own person. They're their own world. They're going to start their own families. And so when I date each of our children, it sends them a very clear message. I am choosing to invest my time and organize my schedule around spending time with you. I'm going to say that again. When I date each of my kids, I send them a message every single month. I am choosing to spend my time to organize my schedule around spending time with you. And that tells the child, I am important in my parents' life. I am important. I am valuable to my parents. I am someone that they value, that they cherish, and most importantly, they see me. Reason number 3, relationships are living and breathing, okay? They're a living, breathing organism. So one of the first movies I ever watched, and then one of the first, I think, live shows, like, well, it wasn't Broadway, but it was like a play, was Fiddler on the Roof. And there's a scene in Fiddler on the Roof that I absolutely love. And it's the scene where Golda tells Tevye, she says, do you love me, right? And he responds, I told you I love you when we got married. Has anything changed? No, so we're good, right? So I know a lot of you, when you think of Fiddler on the Roof, you think, if I was a rich man, right? But when I think of Fiddler on the Roof, I think of this particular exchange between the two of them. And so what's important to remember is that the reality of our relationships with our children is they're ever evolving, right? And so just because you told your child, I love you yesterday or at bedtime or this morning, it doesn't mean you never tell it to them again. And the reason for that is because you're always reinforcing that love and that connection that you have with the child. And so taking them out is another layer of sending that message. I see you, I love you, I care about you, I cherish you. It's not enough to tell a child you love them once, right? When they come out of the womb, I love you, right? That's not enough. They need to hear it all of the time. And reason number 4 is it's building up the emotional bank account and currency that you have with the child. So I'm not a perfect parent, and I never strive to be. I make mistakes. I lose my cool when I wish I wouldn't. I sometimes snap at my kids when I wish I could be more patient and calm. And I never strive for the perfection. I'm looking for excellence. And my definition of excellence is choosing to show up better than I did 5 minutes ago. Because here's the deal with kids. They will always give you another chance to practice your skills, right? If you lost it at them a second ago because they were snatching something from their little brother and they really should have asked, well, guess what? In 10 minutes, he's going to do it again. And you'll have an opportunity this time to show up better. Excellence is choosing to show up better than what you did 5 minutes ago. And what's really beautiful about the dates and about spending time with your child is the small imperfections that we have, like when we're grumpy or tired or whatever it is, that sometimes can create a wear and tear on the relationship with your child. But the one-on-one date is your time to show them how much you care about them, how much you love them, why they mean so much to you, why you're grateful for the gift of their presence every single day in your life. They get to share their joys, their jokes, their struggles from home and school, their friends, anything about their teachers, or anything else they want to share. And I get to get a consistent glimpse into their beautiful life and the ever evolving growth of these beautiful humans that I get to raise. And I think number 4 is definitely from my favorite reason of why I do this, because life is hard sometimes, right? And it's challenging, and it's going to send its hurdles and its obstacles. And we're not always going to show up in the best way that we want to. We do get to be intentional about how we show up in other times, or be intentional about how we want to show up in specific moments of the day. And if we choose times that we get to spend with our children and pour into their bank accounts, emotional bank accounts, and the relationship and the connection and experience that we have with our children, we're going to be raising amazing humans and the next generation of leaders. So now I'd love to hear from you for today's Ripple Effect Challenge. I want you to let me know in the comments which one of these 4 reasons resonated most with you. And do you want to give dating your kids a try? And if you do, I'd love for you to share this episode and subscribe, and really share with another parent or grandparent or anyone who wants to create a connection and relationship with their children. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
If you like this video, make sure to subscribe using the bell so that you get notifications when we release videos twice a week.